Hey y'all, this is John Tran from Bounty on the Comics, and I've got a Star Wars rumor for you today. We're switching it up a little bit. This doesn't have anything to do with the rise of Skywalker or the Mandalorian. Instead, we got a new rumor from Jeremy Conrad of Star Wars Unity. He's also the guy who runs MCU Cosmic. And he suggests that Disney and Lucasfilm could be developing a Star Wars spinoff. Conrad speculates the series will not feature Han Solo, Chewbacca, or Lando Calrissian. Instead, he believes it will be about Crimson Dawn and the criminal underworld that was being led by Darth Maul and Emilia Clarke's character, Kira. Conrad goes on to further indicate the series could be repurposing a rumored Mos Eisley film that Making Star Wars reported was in development at Pinewood Studios UK. They were also working on an Obi-Wan Kenobi film. There was a rumor, even I think a British politician even confirmed that they were working on an Obi-Wan film. And then we just found out that there's going to be an Obi-Wan TV series on Disney Plus with Ewan McGregor back at D23. So it's possible they could be doing the same thing with this criminal Solo spinoff. Disney is definitely investing in their Disney Plus streaming service. They already have 2 live-action Star Wars series in development, with The Mandalorian launching when the service goes live in November here stateside. And then there's the Rogue One spinoff featuring K2SO and Cassian Andor. They're also working on a final season for the animated series The Clone Wars. So they have a lot of Star Wars stuff already kind of going on Disney Plus, and they've been rolling out a ton of stuff for Marvel, as you know if you've been following the channel. So it's definitely possible that they could be doing this Solo, a spinoff. The fact that Conrad's speculation would more than likely focus on Crimson Dawn and Darth Maul makes the most sense. That was the big tease at the end of the film when it was revealed that Clark's Kira was working with Maul, and he was kind of the one who was running Crimson Dawn. If you watched Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated series back in the day, or on Netflix when it was on Netflix, Maul teams up with his brother Savage Opress, and they built an extensive criminal empire during the Clone Wars. They took down like 3 or 4 crime syndicates and combined them and made them their own. Their criminal empire became powerful enough to take control of the mighty Mandalore, home of the Mandalorians. In fact, they became so powerful that Sidious, Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, who eventually becomes the Emperor, he actually decided to leave the seat of the Republic and head to Mandalore, where he took on Maul and Opress in a freaking epic lightsaber battle. It ends up with Palpatine takes he's dual wielding lightsabers, and he takes them and he does a little move where he sticks them both in the chest of Opress, and he falls and dies. And then Maul's kind of just shaken emotionally, and then the Emperor decides to give him a little bit of shock treatment. But he doesn't die, so Maul doesn't die, and he survives. But they definitely built a huge criminal empire, so it's possible that they could explore a little bit more of that as they did in the animated series. But what makes this rumor even more interesting is that it surfaced just days after a report that noted Star Wars Rebels is one of the most anticipated shows for Disney Plus. So if you don't know about Rebels, it follows the crew of the Ghost as they fight against the Empire and help build up the Rebel Alliance. The series actually featured a lengthy arc with Darth Maul returning to seek his revenge against Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kenobi had defeated Maul in the Phantom Menace after Maul had killed Qui-Gon Jinn. The Rebels show also had a Mandalore tie-in, and it showcased Mandalore rebel faction that was attempting, I believe they were trying to attempt a coup, and then they were also kind of like hired hands with the Empire as well. So with that news, Disney could be looking at another one of the characters to spin off into this live action, and that character is Enfys Nest and her crew. In Solo, the film makes it very clear that Enfys Nest and her team or whatever were the inspirations for the rebellion. Their whole reason for sabotaging Beckett and his team is to cripple Dryden Voss and his criminal connections with the Empire. It's quite possible the rumored spinoff could follow Enfys Nest and try to piggyback off the fan love for Star Wars Rebels. Another possibility, the show could look backwards instead of forward. We could see the show follow Woody Harrelson's Beckett and Thandie Newton's Val's escapades. The film or the series could actually, the film indicated that Beckett took down famed bounty hunter Aura Singh. Aura Singh should be familiar to those who watched the Clone Wars animated series. She was a prominent bounty hunter who was working with Boba Fett and a number of other bounty hunters. I think Boss K or Bosk. I like saying Boss K, but I think it's Bosk. And being kind of the antagonists for Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano and Obi-Wan Kenobi throughout the Clone Wars animated series. But if I was a betting man, my guess is that Disney and Lucasfilm would go with the Enfys Nest storyline because it checks off their diversity check marks that we've been seeing them kind of do with the sequel trilogy in Star Wars, and increasingly what it looks like they're doing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They got to fill those those diversity check boxes, and Enfys Nest fills all of those with a minority lead actress. But for me personally, I would definitely be interested in the Crimson Dawn or Beckett angle, exploring the grimy underworld of Star Wars. The Mandalorian promises to explore that world post-Empire, but seeing more of how the underworld operated during the Empire could be intriguing as well, and how like their relationship is with the Empire, and whether or not he's like allowing them to kind of operate as he does. Maybe he actually encourages these. It seems like he encourages these criminal gangs, and to like maybe just kind of like keep the population like corrupt and just not able to kind of be able to resist him. He wants like these gangs to be supplying the citizens of the Empire with potentially with drugs or stuff. That could be an angle that they go with. We haven't really seen that, but it's possible. And if they do go with the Beckett or Crimson Dawn angle, it also kind of shifts them away from the kind of what we've seen Star Wars do in the movies, is it's always rebellion versus Empire, or resistance versus First Order, being kind of drawn down these binary lines where you could have Beckett, he's working both sides as a smuggler, and then with the Crimson Dawn you have like a whole separate faction kind of operating kind of within the Galactic Empire, but also working to undermine them and create their own like seat of power. So that could be really interesting too. And then they could even be like maybe aiding the rebellion too, playing both sides just like Beckett. But I want to know what you think. Are you interested in seeing a Solo spin-off on Disney Plus? Would you want to see it explore maybe more Darth Maul and the Crimson Dawn? What about Solo featuring Beckett and his crew? What about Enfys Nest? Are there any other options you think that they could like spin off that could work well? What do you make of this rumor in general? I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comments below. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit that subscribe button. And if you are feeling especially generous, smash that bell to get notifications. Until next time.